Mr. Sharpe, are you ready?
Sorry, social distancing. Social distancing. Wow, exciting today. Welcome guys to Stay Sharpe. We're super excited that you're viewing in with us, and we're super excited for our guest that we have with us today. And our guest is Kevin Nash. He's a doctor, he's a philanthropist, he just does many things. And I felt that since there is such a great uptick in the COVID-19, that we should definitely bring an expert on so that way we can take proper precautions and we can know really the full details of COVID-19. It's one thing to hear about it all the time, and some people know people that's been afflicted by it and some people don't. So I thought, what?
How are you being safe and you going to pool parties?
Private pool parties.
So privately means that you can't catch coronavirus.
I hang around the same core of people every day. We hang around the same people. So that's it. No more, no less. That's just like family and friends that come over to your house, the same people. It's like,
that doesn't even make remotely any sense.
It's like Russian roulette.
Oh my goodness.
And that's pretty much what COVID-19 is like at this point in time.
Russian roulette?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Matter of fact, I need to start testing you before you come over here.
Oh yeah, can you get a thermometer? Because that way I can be sick and not have to show up.
No. All right, so what did you do this weekend?
This weekend. Oh, I cooked. It was 4th of July. I didn't feel like cooking.
That's right.
Yeah, so I had a lot of family and friends. Well, 12, isn't that the number?
12? Oh, yeah. Oh, listen. Did you have more than 12?
I obey the laws.
Somebody call the popo.
As you know, I follow the laws. So yeah, we cooked out and just enjoyed each other.
You don't follow the laws. You're the same person who has a handicap placard in their car. Mm-hmm. You're not handicapped.
You know that placard expired in 2017?
I know.
I'm
going to arrest you.
That's why I keep
I'm going to give you a ticket.
I want you to.
Oh my goodness.
Start the show.
All right. So, we're going to bring in Mr. Nash. Now, listen, if you have any questions, like during the show, please ask them so we can have Mr. Nash answer your questions. All right. So, please make sure you just be active. If you haven't hit the like button, hit it, share it. Please bring, we're starting to see more and more people coming in, and we owe it to you because you are all you're just bringing in people, and I guess they like what they see. Mm-hmm. Maybe because they like Derek. I think that's it.
And then look how I'm socially distanced. Look at that. Well, because he sneezed y'all right before the show started, so I'm really uncomfortable.
No, I think it's because I looked at your toenails.
Well, I'm going to get them done this week.
Man, those. Well, I wish I could see these toenails.
Kevin.
You got the Jesus Walk sandals on, too. All right, let's bring Mr. Nash on. How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, my goodness.
Just enjoying the show.
Oh, yeah. So how's everything going with you?
Good. It started off strong at the beginning of the year, and then we got this COVID-19 thing, and it kind of shut things down. I'm in the military, so I got pulled to go to Chicago and Boston for a few weeks to help with the COVID-19. But other than that, I'm social isolating and keeping my little core group of people and trying to stay away from COVID.
All right. Good. So, we have a lot of misconceptions, and there's a lot of things going around that people, people are afraid. Some people are afraid, and some people are not afraid. People are just like, hey, it's a simple strand of the flu. It's this or it's that. It's not that serious. Some people won't come out the house because of this. What is your intake? What's your input on all of this?
So when it comes to COVID-19, I think the biggest thing that we need to understand is, number one, that it's real. And it's affecting the Hispanic community and the African American community 5 times worse than the white community. So a lot of things that predispose us to getting it or becoming a fatality from COVID-19 is going to be diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and things like that. So those are the things that we need to keep front in our mind to whenever we doing things out and about. I think people just need to understand that nowadays we're going to have to make sure that we're sanitizing our hands. We have hand sanitizer in our pocket. We're wiping things down when we have guests over the house. We're limiting our exposure in a way until at least a vaccine comes along.
So Kevin, so you said something. I can be honest. When it first affected, when the COVID-19 first came out, everyone said that, it doesn't affect this certain population of people. And now you just said that the highest numbers is in African Americans and Hispanics. Help me with that. How did it say that first we couldn't catch it? Now it's like we're running rampant with it.
Well, I think whenever the COVID-19 first came out, I think that it was one of those things that we weren't kind of monitoring the numbers necessarily in the underserved. I think it wasn't identified as much, in the underserved area. And I think once it started to peak and the spread started to increase, I think we started to notice that a lot of the people, were of color that were in the hospital or dying from it. I think we just need to keep in mind of how much of the population we make up versus how many people are affected by this virus.
So should we or should we not practice social distancing? Does it really help or doesn't it?
Social distancing is absolutely number one. It's very important. COVID-19 is spread through droplets. So if you've ever been in a closed bathroom and you sprayed Lysol and you spray too much Lysol, you start coughing because the concentration is so high. But then what do? We turn around and we open a window, and that kind of thins the droplets out, and then we can breathe a lot better. So kind of think of it that way whenever you're thinking about COVID-19. You want to make sure that if you're entertaining or out in public, you want to keep that 6-foot distance. The reason for the 6-foot distance is because as I speak or if I cough or if I sneeze, a lot of the droplets will come out about 6 feet before they start to drop. As the droplets start to drop, then you have less of a worry or less of a chance to get COVID-19. So social distancing is definitely key.
Go ahead. You guys.
So I'm 6'5", so mine is. I think I'm like mine is more than 6 feet because it's coming down on top of your head.
So you're. I'm not. See, I'm trying to be serious today, and he really wants me to flip out on him.
You're trying to get Derek started here.
Right.
I know.
So, Kevin, mask or no mask? Because it's hot in them. I can't breathe, and mask or no mask.
Here's what I would say with the mask. Number one, you have to, I guess, listen to your local government to see if a mask is mandatory. If it is, then yes, you need to wear a mask. If it's not mandatory, but it's suggested, understand that a mask doesn't necessarily protect you, but it protects the people around you. So you need as many people to wear a mask as possible to protect everyone. Because like I said, with the droplets, what the mask does is stop the droplets from spreading 6 feet.
Right.
Okay.
So what do you think too about like Cleveland? In some areas now, it's a mandate. Like you can get cited by the police. They have officers out now that's all they do. Like if you aren't wearing your mask, you're gonna be cited. I mean, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm a big mask advocate. Do I always wear a mask when I go out? No, I don't, because I definitely keep my 6 foot distance between people. So it was funny when it first started, because I used to go on runs a lot, especially when I was in Boston. And it was funny because, you'd start running up the street and people would cross the street and run down the other side of the street, and then, come back on whenever after they passed you. And I think sometimes it's a little unnerving to people, just to kind of not be able to get close to people or see people trying to avoid them, with that 6 foot distance.
Right.
I think it's uncomfortable for people, but it's definitely necessary in these times.
Cool.
Yeah, because I'm big and Derek's big, and
I'm wearing COVID-19. Kevin, is there a pill you can give me to get rid of this COVID weight? You said obesity. I think I'm obese.
Not yet. No pill yet.
I need you to work on a diet pill, because I got some pounds I gotta.
You too. Kevin, so here's a crazy thing. A friend of mine has COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
And my answer to every cough, sneeze, or sickness, I told her go get some penicillin. And so penicillin heals all things, trust me. And
what?
The doctors basically told her, go home, check your temperature. There's nothing. There's nothing they can do for her.
I'm sorry.
Help us understand. So she has COVID and she's just at home in pain.
Yeah. So COVID signs and symptoms: fevers, chills, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, muscle aches, body aches, headaches, loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion, runny nose, nausea, vomiting. All those things are diarrhea. All those things are signs and symptoms of COVID. Unfortunately, these signs and symptoms also sound like another thing that we're used to, hearing in the fall, which is the flu.
Or a good weekend.
Right.
Right.
That's a hard weekend.
Right.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the only thing they can do at this point is treat your symptoms, which is pretty much the same thing. The same thing as a flu. It's just a symptomatic treatment and staying out of the way or staying away from people so you don't spread it.
Feel bad for her. So no penicillin for her?
No penicillin. Unless they find something else, then that's a whole nother discussion.
That's a whole nother discussion there. So what about people with, these underlying health issues, Like I go to my doctor regularly, and I know too, just in the Black community, Black males really, they try their best to avoid doctors, and I'm glad I was going to the doctor, because I realized that I became a diabetic because it's hereditary. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest cautions that he's been working with me to make sure that I'm on a good regimen, so that heaven forbids, if I were to ever catch this, that my body would be able to fight it off. What do you say to people who, you have people who just don't go to the hospital to get checked up on, and how are you seeing it affecting people with these underlying illnesses?
I guess that's a few part question. I guess I'll address it first by saying, I think everybody, especially in the African American community, minority community, you need to go see a provider once a year,
Mhm.
minimum.
Right.
You need to. And just like you said, as far as diabetes, because you're genetically made. You don't only look like your mother and father, you're also built genetically on the inside like your mother and father and your grandfather and grandmother. So if they have things such as high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, unfortunately, I think in the Black community, we don't share those things amongst ourselves. We don't share those things from mother to father to child and grandmother to mother to child and things like that. So that's one of the big things that I preach to my patients, is that it's very important to make sure that if you find out that you have high blood pressure, if you have children or do have children, it's important that they know your medical history. Because if you look genetically down your family tree, you would probably see a lot of similarities between health issues and diseases down the family tree. One of the biggest things with COVID-19 is it affects diabetics very, very highly. And with diabetes, it's important to have that under control. I was just reading a study today that showed how a diabetic that had blood sugars under control was almost 25 to 50% less chance of dying than a diabetic who had sugars that were out of control. So it's very important to make sure that we go to the provider yearly, even if you don't have a problem. There's preventative things that we can start addressing early that will put years on the end of your life. I mean, and a lot of times hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, those things are found around 30 years of age, usually in African Americans. And a lot of times people don't know or find out those things until 40. So it's 10 years that you've had that wear and tear on your body.
Right. So what do you think as far as, so you have your insulin dependent diabetics and then, you're medicated. So type 1 and type 2. So is it affecting one more than the other, or is it just affecting them all the same?
I think the biggest thing is when you start, separating the diabetes by type 1 or type 2, I think the biggest thing, how we need to separate them, is controlled or not controlled.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So do you have your sugars under control, or do you not have your sugars under control? And then because as far as the ratio between type 1 and type 2, I'm sure that they're the same, but I'm not positive. I haven't read any studies on that. Mm-hmm. But diabetes, I would just separate it by controlled and not controlled.
I'm so sweet though. That's my problem. I'm a sweet person, and my sugars stay high.
Are you done?
Yeah.
And because Lord knows that was a lie, and if the rapture was a hit in that moment, he would be going down, down, down. No.
I try to say it with a straight face.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Super excited that you joined us. We definitely don't want to occupy too much of your time, because I'm loving your whole CNN interview background.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
I see that. I know. I thought we was in church for a minute. I was like, I thought I was gonna have to confess something here.
Astoria. As we end speaking with you on COVID, is there anything that you want to say to our viewers to kind of shake us and make us realize this thing is real?
I travel a lot, so I hear a lot of things on the plane. I hear conspiracy theories. I hear all types of stuff about where COVID came from. But I guess we just need to understand that it's here. Mm-hmm. It's here, and what can we do to make sure that we stay out of the way? And what we can do is, social distancing, stay 6 feet. If you're over 65 years of age, then you need to understand that if you're at a higher risk. So you need to keep your circle of friends small. And the other thing that I'd like to point out is is the importance of, if you have people over or if you have children and their friends come over, and the importance of disinfecting. It's very important to disinfect, the knobs that people touch, go in the bathroom, disinfect there, where they touch the handles on the sink, where they touch your countertops, where they coughed or sneezed on your countertops, things like that. Some of the ways of doing that is there are things, like Lysol and stuff that actually kill the coronavirus. You just need to read the bottle and make sure that it is effective against the coronavirus. The other option is to use household bleach. So household bleach can be mixed 1/3 cup bleach to 1 gallon of water, and you can wipe down surface areas there. You just have to remember that once you get the surface area wet, it needs to sit for 1 minute before you dry it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes a minute for it to kill the virus. So that also works with, flu virus. Since flu season is coming up here pretty soon, you can take the same precautions as far as it goes with the flu and the coronavirus.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Are you accepting new patients?
I am always accepting new patients.
Well, he got rid of me. He was my doctor at one point.
I would have got rid of you too.
I didn't get rid of him. I just deployed a couple times, so you had to see somebody else.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you. I thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks a lot for coming on. I hope that, like I said, it shed a little light for people, because I know, do you think this is ever, me personally, I don't think this virus is ever going to go away. I think it's going to be something that lingers around, and it's going to be here forever.
I think we probably before a vaccine, we probably got about another 12 months, 6 to 12 months before we see a vaccine. So as far as we probably need to get comfortable doing the things to prevent it that we talked about today, as well as just starting to think like that from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's COVID-19 now, it may be COVID-52, in 5 years.
Jesus, take the wheel.
So
we're gonna be walking around here in bubble wrap.
So the thing about it is, implement things now that just become part of your lifestyle that help you to prevent from getting any virus at all.
Awesome.
Thank you. Well, hey, listen, so I do have your email down there, knash77@gmail.com, if they want to reach out to you. Where are you? You say you're taking new patients. Where are you actually, your office located?
I'm currently working at Life Care. We have 3 offices. We have 2 in Canton, and we have 1 in Massillon for the patient's convenience. You can just call 330-454-2000, and they will get you scheduled with me.
Awesome. Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. You shared something for me, because I didn't know. And I was listening to him, and
he just told you to be careful because you're fat.
Hey, Lamar, thank you for the invite. You do a lot in the community. I hear a lot about you. So continue on doing what you do. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Hey, you take care.
Thanks.
Bye, Kevin.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was good.
Yeah. So I want to go back to, he was talking about how we're built up of our parents. You are your mother.
I know. And it's so crazy that you say that, because whenever anybody sees my mother, they're like, you guys are twins. I get my slick tongue from her, all those good things. That's my homie. We was together today. I took her shopping.
Oh my God, you are your mother.
Yes.
Oh man.
Who's our sponsor today?
You know what? We didn't have a sponsor this week, so we couldn't give out. We couldn't. But you know what? I'll take care. I'll take care of the gift card this week.
I got something.
But you know what though? Because guess what? Listen, you better start getting on sponsor, because we got something big circling this show right now. So don't jump on later. If you want to sponsor. We don't take. Again, we want to give out things to people in the community, that are watching, show our appreciation, and also to, you got to take care of a couple little things, and also give out some, try to donate some money to some kids, because I'm always giving stuff out to kids in the community. So
so sweet.
that's why I'm a diabetic.
Lord have mercy. Anywho's our trivia for the day.
Oh man!
I'm excited about it.
Before we get to the trivia though, can we talk about your feet again or no?
No.
Okay.
Next week I'll show them because they're gonna be.
No,
you know I had plastic surgery on my toes before.
You paid for that?
Our trivia today, guys,
Oh.
is super good. I need you guys to pay close attention. The question. Y'all ready? Okay, let's go. What is the rarest M&M color?
Oh.
Go. The rarest M&M color, and you can't Google it.
No.
That's something you should know. I'm an M&M fan, so I knew off the bat. And it's not peanut butter. I didn't like that kind.
Yeah. Hey, what about the pretzel ones?
Hit or miss. It kind of if they mix them all together, they're really good.
I know the color, but I only know the color because he told me.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just,
Anything in there? Okay, we got a little lag.
We got a little lag, so
And I'm gonna sip on my water.
Right. Also, too, while we're waiting for okay. So I see my man Bobby White, basketball cop. Go follow him. He does a lot of great things in the community. It's not orange.
Good try.
Good try. It's not orange. If you want to be a sponsor, you want to sponsor your business, or you want to just sponsor the show, feel free to reach out to me and send me a message, and we'll hook it up. So it's not green. It's not green. Also, too, if you go, this is a shameless plug, but if you go to my website, www.lamarsharpe.com, you can see the latest. You can see all the episodes from our show. They're uploaded on there. If you have a friend and they say, "Hey, I don't have Facebook," okay, so that's okay. We're on YouTube. We're live streaming on YouTube. It's not blue. It's not yellow. It's not red. But y'all listen. Process.
I've never seen. Is there a blue M&M?
There is a blue M&M.
What about purple?
There's not a purple.
You guys
are you sure the answer is right?
I know the answer is right. I counted.
Whoa, wait a minute. So I guess this is Derek's answer. No.
See, you guys are in a specialty pack. Original.
Yeah,
the yellow pack.
Original.
Gray. The red, gray.
Then we got it. Carissa.
Yay!
Carissa, you got it.
You. Yep. It's brown. Brown is the rarest color M&M. And the best thing about this, we've dropped knowledge because now everybody's going to buy some M&Ms and they're going to look.
Yeah, they're going to look. And listen, let there be 10 brown ones in that bag. Somebody going to beat you up.
So I feel like I am an educator. I'm like an educator today.
You're a doctor.
I know. See, now you see where I get my title.
Listen, if you was a doctor and you had an office, I wouldn't come there. I barely let you in the studio.
My office kind of looks like over there.
Oh my God.
In the show.
Listen, we want to thank you all for tuning in. Listen, if you shared this today, we appreciate you. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to make you the share police. I want you to go back and look and see if anybody that watched this that made a comment, they should have shared it.
I got you.
And if they don't, if they do, you visit them. That's going to be the prize. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Carissa, you won a $25 gift card. So we're going to take care of you. Send the message to my Officer Lamar Sharpe page, and I'll get that to you. I know that I had an issue with a couple of the other ones, but I had to find a book and I had to sign it, so I did that. I'm just saying.
Sharpe, are you ready?
So we good. You good?
I'm good.
What are you doing this weekend?
Staying sharp.
Getting the corona.
Devil's a liar.
Listen, thank you all for
tuning
in. Mindy, Chris, thank you, Chris, the winner. Lawrence was talking mess about you on here. So,
I'm gonna have to read these comments.
Oh yeah, read those comments. So thank you for tuning in. We out.
Bye guys.